You want to listen to Blades of Steel? There it is. Like,
This is the Imperial Schools of Honor podcast. I am Josh Folan, and this is another one of our Order of Erdrick interview series for the pod. And I am here today with GBelair. Say hi, Guy.
hi.
And Guy is, that's honestly one of my first questions, is asking you exactly how you would describe what you do. Because it is unique, and as you said, I thought was interesting before we got in here that you've always just kind of been a name on the internet. And that is, when I realized that you had a website and had a way to contact you, I was kind of surprised and, to put it mildly, excited to reach out and see if I could line this up with you. So I guess maybe let's start slow here. Looking at your website, it's pretty clear to me that you were an NES and an SNES kid in the 8 and 16-bit eras.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, absolutely. So no Sega Genesis then, rather, just to
Never. I only played like at the mall.
Okay, copy. I just wanted
demos, But.
Right. Okay, just wanted to make sure. That's a huge focus of our pod is kind of this 8 and 16-bit era, the console war thing. And
that was my big thing, yeah.
Yeah, right.
My website says NES, SNES, so.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I presumed as much, but you never know. Yeah. I just wanted to ask. That's always one of the first things I ask interviewees is where did you stand? What side of the line did you stand on in the 16-bit era? Is I think a fun starting point. So then NES then, what is your favorite NES game?
That one's a hard one. I have a better time with the SNES, but NES was, obviously there's the obvious ones, Super Mario 3, Mega Man. Well, actually my favorite Mega Man is Mega Man 3 because it's the only Mega Man game I owned.
Okay.
Like my mom got me that one and was like, that was the good one for me. Like it was Mega Man 2, but with so much added like lore and stuff and mechanics and
right.
You fight the bosses from 2 and I was tripping.
And the Rush Dog acquisition or addition rather was huge, of course. Yes.
And the soundtrack, obviously, that's my thing, but I'm really big on the soundtrack.
Absolutely.
It would be, but I have a weird one. Like, it's this fishing game that started my my YouTube channel too. It's the Blue Marlin. It's like like people know like the Black Bass series. It's the same company, but it was a modern like deep sea fishing game and.
Really?
It has all these memories of growing up.
That was a licensed release on the NES? I have never heard of that.
Yeah, it's Hut B, the company that made it. It was Black Bass, a few Black Bass in Japan, and then...
I have the cart. It's Black Bass is one of those games that I have all this nostalgia for. I remember playing with my little brother, and in my mind, it was so much fun. But you play it in a modern context, and it is a very tedious and hard to stick with game. Yeah.
I love the Super Black Bass. I played a lot of that too. But yeah, the Blue Marlin was just this kind of like, I'm from Canada, so I was definitely not in Florida, and it takes place, like in Honolulu and West Palm Beach and all that stuff. And it was just great. Like the whole atmosphere, the soundtrack is crazy in that one. And just remember playing this in the summer with my family on the couch watching me play,
Amazing.
But if I had to pick one that really stood out too for me is Bionic Commando.
Okay, that's a great game, yeah. That's one I didn't play a ton as a kid. It's one of those games that, the name I feel like was everywhere in like all the early Nintendo books and, so many kids had it. I don't really have an explanation as to why I didn't get into it as a kid. I think I really bumped up against the mechanic of it, which is so cool. We did a game episode on it and it's so good. It's such a especially for then when everything was predicated on just kind of almost the same. It's very samey. A lot of the early games, the jump in, platforming, what have you. It was such an interesting twist on that to physically not be able to jump in a game like that was such a.
You couldn't jump at all, right?
Right, exactly. Such a strong, interesting choice, and it's such a good game that it's one of the things I kind of. I don't know, embarrassed maybe is an overstatement, but kind of ashamed that I didn't have a closer ties to as a child, because it is a fantastic game.
And I finished the damn game once when I was 32.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't finish it till we played it for the pod early on, so that would have been like 2018. Yeah, late 30s for me. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, those are just icebreakers. You mentioned having Mega Man 3 as a kid. Do you still have your childhood NES and stuff, or did you get rid of it?
It's all hoarding in the closet. I don't have a big setup, but you know, like I have a friend that is into that too, like, and he has all these shells, you know, like a lot of collectors have, but mine's just in a bin.
But it is the one you had from childhood. You've held on to it.
All my original cartridges.
Good job, man.
I'm Canadian, so we had ice hockey, and that was a big one here, the manacles and stuff. I still have the manual, and
that's a fantastic game as well. I have that as well. Yeah, I got rid of all mine as a kid like an idiot. I sold it for Genesis stuff, and then I sold my Genesis for Nintendo 64 stuff. I did every time I got rid of all my stuff like a moron, and I've had to
the boxes.
Right, exactly, and I've had
boxes.
So much money. Yeah. I threw those away. I didn't even have those. I threw those away as a kid.
I know.
Like a super dumb child as well. Well, we didn't know. But I've had to spend $1 million as an adult to reclaim all that. I call it my childhood reclamation project where to get it all back. So getting into the work you do, man, in your words, describe what it is you do in and for the retro gaming community. And do you even view it that way, I guess, as a service? Because I tell you, as we could not do our podcast in the way that we do it, as efficiently as we do it, and obviously as musically enhanced as we do it, without the work you do. So obviously we're just one dumb podcast as an example, but I think there's no shortage of appreciation on your YouTube channel, and you have to have some awareness of how much of a resource you are to the retro gaming community. So tell me, describe what it is you do in your words.
I mean, after a while, I started it's just a little project, and then it's been the website I started ripping game sprites in 2002, and I started the music stuff in 2009. So it's already been a while, and after all, you're like, damn, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And you're like, and then I would consider it almost like being a curator, like a museum in a sense, but the first time that it really hit me that it had such a widespread impact is fortunately when my mother passed away. I posted a video. The first time people saw my face, actually. This is the second time, as I made a video because I made a fundraiser to try to kind of gather money for expenses related to that, and I was really shocked. I expected maybe $100, 50, but I was really touched by the community. They had signed up with $650, and all with messages about all the impact that my work had, and I was like, wow, okay. It wasn't just like a little cute hobby I do every morning for the last.
And when was that? How far into?
That was 2018.
Okay.
So already a while ago, but.
Right.
And it's something I do the soundtrack stuff, especially because I don't really rip sprites anymore. But I still do every morning I wake up. That's my first thing. Since 2009.
Just do one game?
Soundtrack project. Yeah, I do a few projects at the same time.
Okay.
Every morning I do a little bit of this one, and that's my routine since 2009.
Okay. What is the process? What are the actual workflow mechanic of ripping it? Where do you have? I mean, you take the ROM, I presume, and you somehow have some sort of decompiling function that you do, or what exactly?
Yeah, it depends on the project, but generally, how I try to do, people rip, sound files for various systems. NES has NSF files, SPC files for Super Nintendo, so on, VGM files for Genesis, whatever. Like, and so I used to play those for myself. I was like, I knew how to operate these formats, and I was like, kind of sucks that like but people that don't know how to do this, they
Right.
can't have access to that. So like, maybe that could be kind of a bridge and just catalog, convert, and all that, and present it in MP3 formats that everyone can enjoy it. And that's how it started. And so
So
yeah,
that's what you do.
so
So locally, you take those files, convert to MP3, and then upload as, or I assume you then
yeah, there's a
map them to
whole
video.
in fact, there's such a process that after all this time, I still have a chart to show like, okay, what's step next because there's so many steps. So yeah, essentially, like I convert the format into WAV, and then what's really difficult is naming the files because I know like soundtracks like say Castlevania, they have official track names.
Right.
I wasn't a fan of that because someone that's not a hardcore Castlevania fan, they'll remember that as stage two, and they're like, oh, which one's stage two? So I decided my format is gonna be, where it plays in game. So I started naming that. But at first I didn't do any of this, but now I watch the gameplay like long plays. I have to watch the whole long play to try to see where the files
Oh,
like
what
line up.
dedication. What
And
dedication.
some project can take like okay, some like are short for like a couple of weeks. I'm done.
So,
Some take years.
quick question. Who is your go-to long play YouTube user?
World of Long Play.
World of Long Play? Okay.
Yeah.
I use Nintendo Complete is the one we usually use.
I've been on that a lot too
Yeah.
because the other one doesn't always have it. And some don't exist at all.
Right. We like Nintendo Complete because he keeps it in the proper aspect ratio, and
Oh yeah.
that is so critical to me. I hate the ones that stretch it to 16:9. It's like kills my soul every time I see someone do that. It's like, why would you do that?
And yeah, like I know it's like I'm kind of OCD. Like sometimes I don't need to see the whole long play. And okay, for like a game like Mega Man 1, you can have a long play like 35 minutes. I do 5 minutes a day. Like on this one. I do about 8 projects a day. Like I try to do 2 short, 2 medium, 2 long, you know, and 2 slots for other projects. But when you hit something like Fire Emblem, where it's like what 40 hours of footage,
Right.
yeah, it can take years. Like I've been stuck on Silent Hill for 2 years now.
That's amazing that you have like your, I don't know, white whales maybe is a way to describe it. That are
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
I have
yeah.
all sorts of projects. And some projects are not straightforward. I have to manually play the game, record it. I mean, there's one I forget Hero Senki something on Super Nintendo, like a Japanese RPG. Only in Japanese, no run patch, nothing. Actually, played the whole game with like finding my cheat codes with the emulator, and I used Google to translate stuff so I would know where to go. I translated the whole damn thing with my phone to play through it. So there's crazy stuff like that, or a better anecdote is um something made from like a cartoon, like Range on the Farm, something like that. I forget the. It's a cartoon, but it's like a lot of times if I do the gameplay record manually, there's no way to get the music without like sound effects popping on top.
Right.
So then I would go through a playthrough, record once, twice, like I record like 40 times, overlap those and cut out
Ugh.
all the sound effects and then kind of make a Frankenstein file and then I get the music that way. Like that's something that could take 6 months.
Yeah, that sounds arduous for sure. I mean, I work in film. I edit. Sound on the sound side is I always outsource that. It's too much. I don't have and also there's a long diatribe I can give you about that. But yeah, I don't really do the sound stuff specifically, but I can do simple things sound edit wise in Premiere. And yeah, it's that sounds very messy, and getting that to sound like one continuous without being able to hear the seams, sound file sounds difficult.
Yeah, because it's like just recording the same song and, just mute parts of it everywhere there's a sound effect, and then overlap
Right,
until you have like a continuous thing.
But the levels, not having level variance, audio level variance, though, sounds like a little bit of a trick.
It's pretty steady for that, but yeah, it's just like it's a nightmare. And quite frankly, I'm getting old and tired now, so games like that, I don't see. Like, I think I'm gonna go towards the easier stuff.
That's funny. That's interesting. We just somewhat by happenstance, we right now are doing a game episode on Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, that we're going to record this weekend, and I was using your library for that, for our sound cue stuff, and that one is interestingly the track names are interestingly named because you do have
Yeah, for those I did
right.
click the title.
You do have the like the whatever the formal song titles, as well as it's like I had to like the first few I had to kind of like figure out what your syntax was. It was unique in that it had both like where in the game it fell and the name of the song, and some of them are obviously Bloody Tears. Everyone knows that. So like the first two words that are before Bloody Tears, whatever it is, I could easily figure out. But some of the track names I had to be like, is it actually called Last Boss, Final, whatever the hell it is, or is it, yeah. So,
and a note on that is, right now I'm going through my old library from the beginning because I have strict standards now, but all the old stuff had no standards, like length, because also another step is I listen to every track to determine, okay, it's starting to get on my nerves, cut at that time, and then I go through editing, cutting it out, and adjusting lengths. At first, I was just like 3 minutes everything, even like the Mario Star song. And
okay. Oh, just the looping of it, you mean? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, with just like it didn't have. I didn't like adjust like if it's like a something that will drive you nuts, like the Mario Power Star, which should last like 12 seconds, was 3 minutes of it. Like,
right.
No. So I started doing that later on. But
there are probably maniacs out there though that like that it's a redundant looping of the song and like to use it for some sort of crazy ass thing. So you never know.
Yeah, actually, when I started, I got people attacking me both sides. Yeah, it's too short. It's too long. Okay, I'm gonna just listen.
Yeah, you can't make everyone happy. Yeah, you cannot make it. It's impossible to please everyone. So
unfortunately, I haven't got to Castlevania yet in my version 2s. I'm doing version 2s of the old tracks. I'm going through that right now. Like right now, I'm doing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out version.
That's my favorite game ever. That's my favorite NES game.
That was a family game for us with my uncles. Like, I cried when my uncle beat Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that's warranted, man. I didn't. Again, it's my favorite game. It's not. There's not even to me. It's not even Super Mario Bros. 3. Even some of the like, Mount Rushmore games are not even close to Mike Tyson. I mean, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is in its own league to me. It's just unbelievable. And I don't even think it's a sports or a boxing game. I think it's a puzzle game. And it's just an incredible
That's
job.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Yeah. That game is unbelievable. And despite that, I had not beaten Tyson again until we did a game episode on it. I don't know, probably.
Same here. Like I was
2021.
Like 28 when I beat Mike Tyson.
So I learned, and clearly this is, not everyone, whatever. This is how I processed it. Like to me, getting the timing down on that beginning of the Tyson fight is obviously the key to that. And for like, I figured out like they were like half second beats. They're not even whole seconds, but like it was like a number that I figured out. It was like 4, 3, 6, 6, something like that. And it was like a dependable pattern that I had to like put on a sticky note and put on my computer while I played in order to actually beat him in my late 30s.
Because pure reflex is hard to like. You're like
it's such.
I found a way actually I can beat him in round 2 every time now.
Really?
Not every time, but well, my trick is like you leave, I think round 1.
Right, little bit of energy.
Twice.
Yep.
And then you leave that much, like 1 HP in round 1, and then you start round 2, bang.
Yeah,
and then you can. But all that is still reflex, though.
I got it via decision, and I was ecstatic.
yeah, even that was freaking hard.
Yeah, no, such a difficult game, but just a masterpiece, just an absolute masterpiece in every possible way.
I agree.
Okay. Well, okay. Copy on that process. That's cool. That is interesting. That's amazing that you've done all this work and it is that much work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Sometimes I'm like, how the hell did I get through this project?
Right.
And sometimes it's not that it's hard. Like right now, there's something that I just like I'm done. It's Mega Man Star Force trilogy. Like I've been doing it for 2 years, and I just started the third game. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sick of it.
I'm gonna have too far in. I can't stop.
I can't stop
That's
now.
that's how I feel probably about this podcast at times, and certainly about my day job. I often think to myself like, I'd rather stop, but what would I do?
Yeah, you're like you're too invested.
Right, exactly right. It's slippery slope. Once you're going, there's no stopping.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was the very first OST you compiled and archived?
Blue Marlin.
That was okay. So it was Blue Marlin. Okay.
Yeah, because actually what made me start both the sprites and the music is because I used to go to someone else's site and they didn't have what I wanted. So I said, like, the sprites, it was an old website. It was like 2002. It was called rpgicons.com.
Okay.
Like, that's the first site I saw that had sprites and stuff. And kept not having what I wanted, so I'm like, I'm gonna make my own damn.
Have you ever spoken to the person who started and curated that?
No, I never did. No.
Okay, just curious.
They disappeared shortly after, I think. And of course, there was a guy doing soundtracks on YouTube before me that's still, I think he's still around, like me. Like, we're like the OG Silva Gunner, which is now Gilva Sunner, I think, because
I'm not familiar with
shut down.
I use yours, and 8-Bit Stereo is one that we'll use a lot, especially on the Genesis side. That guy does a lot.
Unfortunately, my second YouTube, where I put everything non-NES, got shut down during the pandemic by Square.
I have questions about that. I noticed in your YouTube posts, the text posts.
So like all I have left is my NES channel right now. So.
Okay. And that's interesting to hear that NES would be the one that survives, given how naturally litigious they are. And I have questions about that, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. What have you? Okay, so Blue Marlin, and you did it because out of necessity, and that is where
Silva Gunner didn't have it, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then I'm like, another one. Hey, this is fun. Hey, this is really fun. And I just started going like crazy. Like that's why right now I'm doing version 2s. But at the beginning, there was no process. I was just kind of vomiting content.
Right.
So like I have a ton like in a row to redo, but like I should hit Castlevania soon actually. So but. Yeah, at first, like, it just started being fun. I'm like, this is fun. Like, put it on the website, because I had the MP3s on my website back then. But then I got crap from my ISP.
Right.
They're like, well, you have unlimited hosting to some extent.
Yeah.
That's like 8 terabytes of data.
Right. We said unlimited, but yeah, that's hilarious. Okay.
I know.
That's amazing.
But because like the MP3 people were downloading like tons and tons. Of
sure, right. Just crushing our bandwidth. Yeah.
Terabytes a month.
Yeah, you're destroying our business. So how long? Okay, so you said you kind of started, and it was just out of necessity, and you're just kind of like doing it as a thing because you enjoy it. When did it become a mission, or how and when did it become a mission that? I mean, you've described it as dutiful in a way that maybe you don't even want to be doing necessarily anymore, but you can't stop.
Yeah.
Like when did it become a job like that you felt obligated, or even, I mean, maybe that was never a conscious click over, but like, when did you instill, or how long before you instilled kind of like, you described that daily, like you have a regiment, like when did that kind of dutifulness towards it take over?
It wasn't long after I started. That was like 2009 September, I think. It's gonna be actually in like 2 weeks. It's gonna have been 2025 minus 2009, a long time.
Right.
So it just around 2010, I started just doing it like as a morning routine, like with my coffee. Like it's just like my wake up routine.
Okay.
It did reach a point where I'm like, well, now I'm kind of like a museum now. It has to just like the show must go on. So like, there's 1 month I think and all that. Like I won't get into details like it's personal stuff, but I went through a hard time around like 2013, and there was 1 month where I didn't do soundtracks because I was in hospital and stuff. But even in hospital, I was talking to people about it, and I was getting soundtrack requests at the hospital. When I came out, I did those requests.
So how long? So 2013 already. So you started in 2009. 2013, you're getting requests from people. How much? I mean,
Oh God, yeah.
like,
At a point, like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, like at a point, I had 250 requests in a list. I was like, this is never gonna get done. And at
right.
some point, I got done. I did all of them. I made a video. Like, I made a video because I was like, I did all this. It's done. Now I need to rest.
That's amazing, man. I can't believe you're taking requests. I mean, did you at any point present that invite, or was that did it just naturally happen? And
I got bombarded, especially on YouTube. Like at a point, it was like I couldn't. I tried for a long time. I tried reading every comment. At some point, it was like, my God, 2,000 comments a day. Like I can't keep up.
YouTube, and not to mention 99% of them are not.
No, especially early on, I had a lot of problems with people too. I'm like, it's better left alone, I think. Than,
for sure. Don't it?
Yeah.
Much easier and much more mentally safe to just
I kind of like said,
not
I'll
engage
let
it.
people talk. But then at some point I started disabling comments because I was getting too much hate, and then I got hate for disabling comments. I was like, okay, fine. Yeah. I'll re-enable them, and you guys have that.
Yeah, you idiots can slap each other around on the internet.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, so you mentioned having some trouble. Square nixed your other channel with Sega stuff. Yeah. What, I guess just talk about, because, that, honestly, probably the biggest reason that I hadn't thought to bug you about this chat yet is because I presumed that you would want to stay on the anonymous side because of... And I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know the legality of these 8-bit renditions, but there has to be something there.
I just figured, like, if I get a strike, like, take it. Like, it's gonna probably go down like the other channel if they take the other, and then I'll, if I get a cease and desist, I'll just, you do it.
Right. So how much of that? How many strikes are you at on YouTube?
Actually, it's complicated. I'm not sure because obviously, like, the amount of soundtrack games that I covered is like, I don't know, it's mind-boggling. I'm over 1,000, and there's probably like 100 strikes by now, but a lot of them are like monetized by claimant, which makes sense. Like, I'm working for you for free.
Right.
Don't screw me over. I'm making you free money.
Right.
I'm like, put the ads on. I don't monetize the channel, obviously, because I don't want legal trouble.
Right. And that's the way around it.
Then.
Right. So you haven't had any. So it's mostly the ones where they just take it over money wise.
Yeah, that one though is disabled right now. I can't keep doing it. I could, but right now it's like I'm already overwhelmed with work, and just doing new content is so labor intensive.
Sure.
Right now they limited how many videos I can upload in a day to 10. So then how can I work with that? Like upload every day and keep track of where I left off.
And this is that other channel, you mean? This is the other channel.
Yeah, the main channel now is limited to 10 uploads a day.
What's the, I can't... What is the math of that? How is that number determined, and how is that supposed to? I don't know. What's the point? The point of limiting the channel would be. Well, sorry. Go ahead. What's your?
They want my personal information to unlock, being able to upload as much as I want. So I was like, nah. I'm my information. I know what you're doing.
Okay. Copy. Yeah, but I mean, just from their side, like, just what's the point? Like, if your point is to limit whatever, the point of what they're doing is to limit their own legal liability, of course. They don't actually care about anyone. They're just making sure they're covering their own ass by imposing that limitation. So if you can upload anything, like, what's the point of limiting it in any way? You know what I mean? It's either, to me, the logic would suggest either all or nothing. The idea that there will be some sort of intermediary number is just, it's the perfect example of corporate bureaucracy bullshit, I suppose.
And we get, also the other thing is we get fraudulent copyright strike on our channels. Like, any YouTuber knows that.
Right.
You get bullshit companies that such and such, that they're in India, they deal with...
They're trying to extort money. Yep. Yep.
and they have nothing to do with the content. And I'm like, shouldn't you go after these guys that are claiming ownership when they are not the owner?
Right. Right.
Oh, right.
Yep.
I just thought of something in a bit. Have a couple of anecdotes I have to share.
No, by all means, go. That's what we're here. We're here to bullshit. So tell me
Okay,
what's.
well, that's just like two notable anecdotes, like running the channel that I've had. Well, the other one's not really channel; it's more like retro gaming. Uh, there was a lot of talk because I think it was 2008, 9. I actually had the world record of Contra for 6 months. I submitted my tape to, I think it's a site that keeps records, Twin Galaxies, I think
Okay.
it's called. And I did the tape, I did the score. They didn't, they rejected my submission because they said, well, you had to turn the NES while recording. I'm like, I started recording after I turned on the NES, so it didn't count. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I did
those people are
the
very. They're. I'm sure you've seen the King of Kong documentary. The individuals who have a vested interest in, like, I don't know, that like speed running / record keeping stuff are like hardcore about it, man.
yeah, that broke my heart though.
Yeah.
I had the world record at the time. It was like 400 something thousand, and I was at like 560, 590,000. I passed the Contra without the Konami code. I passed Contra 5 times, and I made it to the last boss on the 6th run, and then I got game over.
Okay.
And my friend was there. I did it at work.
What is
That's
work?
the
I've
first
been
time.
meaning to slide that in. What is your day job?
I'm actually on disability now, but I was a tech support agent.
Okay.
My last job was back in 2011. It was a really good one. I worked for the Hockey Canada, like
Okay.
the Canadian Hockey Federation. So it was stoked because my family was like a hockey family. So, but unfortunately, like this is not my first time on camera because I was actually on TV in 2011. I suffered a rare and it's not rare. It's a dangerous side effect, the type of antibiotics that completely like destroyed my body, and
Okay.
like it took me 3 years to walk and stuff. And after
Oh,
that, I
man.
kept pushing and pushing on, trying all sorts of things, and I landed on disability. So at least I still do volunteer work with the soundtracks and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's what I did before. I was a tech support agent by necessity, not by choice.
Copy that. Okay.
If it was like where I was supposed to go, it would have been like cellular biology, like something like that. Like that was really nice stuff I liked. But yeah, since I was kind of like bad health, I went to tech support, a sit down job. I could rip sprites at work.
Yeah. Can I do my own shit while I do this
Yeah,
job? That is the critical.
between calls, like all my work's done. Okay, like I used to, like, and I don't tell them that, but it's been long enough. But I used to do like what I do with the sprites every morning. Well, at work, I would kind of go through a bunch of sprite ripping projects at work, like between calls. So
So always been an aspiration to be archiving.
yeah,
That's
because when I started the website, I started with an old friend from England actually. His name's Goemar, like Goemon Mario Goemar. He ran another sprite ripping website called Retro Game Zone. And we started that at the same time together. I still talk to his brother like constantly. And actually, my oldest friend is another well-known YouTuber, Lonely Goomba.
okay.
So yeah, Lonely Goomba's my oldest friend. I was actually he's not gonna say it like I'm gonna say it here. He probably won't. But I was in the pilot episode with him too.
For his channel.
Yeah. It
Very
was like a sort of like a brainstorming session with him and his brother. It
okay.
was like a complete mess. Yeah, so that's how it started with the website, and I made friends like that with my oldest friends.
I love, by the way. Have you considered it all? Kind of. I mean, I love. Basically, I love that the website feels early internet. I love that the aesthetic of it. It's so
That's the
beautiful.
point, yeah.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Such a good job maintaining that and not updating it to the fucking.
It's retro, right? But actually, that's the 5th version of the website. So
Okay.
I at the time was like I did that version in 2000 at work in my last job in 2009, 2010. So like I was trying to keep it retro, but I wanted to keep it like have it cleaner because it was bit of a
Yeah,
mess, like the previous version.
functional, of course, but yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one version, like I have screenshots of the old versions. Version 2, I lost it all. But yeah, that's cool. Like I was gonna bring it back because it's expensive. You know, I'm not into money right now, so it's hard to pay for the hosting. Like right now, I need to pay it actually. I brought it back like 3 years ago. I kept paying the domain name, but then I was like, I kept being sad that the site was gone. And I was like, you know what? I'll just put it back up. And me and Goemar started a tradition back in 2002 called Spriting Day, like where it's a day of ripping sprites, like where we'd buy like a 2 liter Sprite, like, and I tried to push so people would get into it. Nobody got into it.
Try to start a
It's March
movement.
5th,
Okay.
like I started doing it like 3 years ago. I just do a little project on Sprites on Spriting Day, with my Pringles and my Sprite.
That is fun. Yeah, man. I mean, I was programming websites, and I got really into early internet stuff, like early high school for me, 95, 96. I ran this little ring of sports websites. I was a big Buffalo Bills fan, so I had.
You're into football. I saw that.
Yeah, I was. I'm off.
I was. Okay.
I'm off of it now. I can't.
Oh.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm off of football right now. Okay, cool. What was the other anecdote before we?
The anecdote is that's what it's one of my favorite life anecdotes in general. It was in 2021. I wake up doing my soundtrack stuff in the morning. I go to the Facebook page. One of the people and says like, "Hey, they're talking about you." He clicks a link. I click. That leads to another link. And I'm like, "Whoa! Oh no! Oh no! What the hell is this?" It was actually as part of the controversy with BTS, the Korean. I don't listen to music much, so it's like the most popular K-pop group.
Okay.
Saying that like BTS plagiarizes song by GBelair. Channel. It was like Monster in My Pocket on NES.
Okay.
And like one song from that, and everyone thought they ripped me off, and I was like, it was like worldwide news. Like, oh my god, what the fuck is going on? And you know, my videos have like the best videos have like 5,000 views, maybe. You know, like Super Mario 3 or something. And this one in one day got 600,000.
K-pop will do it, dude. K-pop.
And the messages like over and over in Japanese, Korean. I was like, oh my god.
So what was the fallout? What was
I was at first I was stressing out. I was like, shit, what do I do? I started commenting saying like, this is not my stuff. This is Konami's like sound design team's composition from this game, and
right.
I don't think people give a shit that much writing. My other accounts like as a third party, like pretending it was me, like saying like, this is not me, this is not me. I'm like, my god, what's gonna happen when I have like a news like truck show up, the cops, like, well, let's get
too much heat. I'm trying to lay lower in this.
I eventually, like, I calmed down. I just went. I actually went to cook some pasta with a bottle of wine, and I just put Gangnam Style on in the background. And I just had a great day. Like, like let it rip, like let the madness go. And
sure. And it just cooled off on its own. You didn't have no action from you was required.
If people are curious, it's the video on my channel called I think it's like Tower Stage or something, and Monster in My Pocket. You go to that, you'll see like it's just
so but nothing came of it though. No one hassled you or
no.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, technically they thought they ripped me off, so
right.
They could have got in trouble.
Right. Well, yeah. I just mean, what I would be worried about in that case is like, yeah, of course you're not liable in that situation, but just the heat that or the attention that would garner could get the wrong people looking at.
Yeah, like Konami.
Right, exactly, right, exactly.
Get the Konami and then
exactly, Konami, right.
Yeah. No, you ripped me off. No, you ripped us off.
Right, and just sue everybody, right, yeah. That's like, that would be my expectation of how that would go, not.
Yeah. Like, my head was spinning. I was like, oh my lord, where's that gonna end? Like every, like news channels on the internet, like everyone inquired about me. I was like, oh my
Amazing,
god.
GBelair, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I told you when we first, to me, yeah, it is. I mean, I guess we already said it, but yeah, to me, it was just like learning that your name was Guy, and that's why it was GBelair. Like, even that.
Actually, my name is pronounced Guy because I'm French Canadian.
Okay, copy.
But my British friends call me Guy, so at this point I'm like, you just go with Guy.
Okay, well, you should have corrected me when we first started.
Like I said, my friend, Lonely Goomba, he keeps calling me Guy, so I'm like, we play Fortnite, he's like, hey, Guy, I'm like, let's go with Guy. I'm used to Guy now, like, because I'm perfectly bilingual, like,
okay.
So, either works for me, like.
Copy that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I mean, dude, I wish there's probably an easy AI solution to figuring this out now, like just to go through our whole library of podcasts. But I would love to know the number of times that we have said GBelair on the podcast, just talking about music or like saying, oh, like, because again, you're the go-to music library. So, I'll often say just like our boy GBelair, something, because of what we did with your music or needed to find like whatever in the music, whatever it was, we reference you all the time on the podcast. And I'm, my little brother who I started the podcast with, he's kind of left. He would come back and do the RPG episodes sometimes. We'll be talking. When I actually told him, he said, "What's up?" Let me find the text thread here. What did I say? He mentioned something about music the other night, and I was like, I'm actually talking to GBelair on Friday. He's like, no shit.
Jeez, okay. I didn't know it was to that extent.
Yeah, let me find the exact what did he say here? I can always edit out the silence. Where's it at? Yeah, I'm interviewing GBelair on Friday. I hope you're sitting down for this. The G stands for Guy. His reply, wait, like the music guy? Yes. No shit. And he said, tell him he is my hero.
Well, at least I hope. I know I can't do new content. I hope like leaving it at least can be like a kind of a legacy.
Legacy, sure.
I feel like I want people to know also that I kind of run it underground now, like on Twitter and Facebook. I keep pushing content and the actual MP3 files. Like anyone can go there and request anything from the old library. It's all like in MP3, like in zip files. Like there's a ton. I have to pay for hosting for that too, which is enormous.
You know what you should talk? You know who you should talk to is the Video Game Foundation. Are you familiar?
I think so. It's like a Wikipedia, or
no? They are a relatively new organization, a 501c3 U.S. based. There's some. I think I can't remember where they're at. Somewhere but they have a physical location, and they right now, I would say, seem to be kind of like the most, I don't know, universally recognized, like, they're archiving anything video game related. And they might be a great organization to talk to about finding a way to, partner with or something to use all the work you've done and kind of either mirror your library or give you a hosting place for it. I mean, dude, they would be, again, there's no way they don't know that handle, GBelair. There's just no one who likes old video games who doesn't know that handle. So if you email them and say, hey, I'm GBelair, I have all this shit, the sprites too, I mean, all that, like they probably would be interested in some sort of help or partnering.
Because right now I'm dropping $400 a year out of pocket I don't have to keep it alive. Like, I mean, it's my legacy.
The hosting side of it in particular, I mean, they probably have their own hosting. And then again, yeah, like you said, it's a legacy thing. Obviously, the point of a legacy is to kind of estate it. And like, you know, when we leave, all this stuff remains and is available to everyone. And it continues on beyond my own mortal life, you know? Like,
actually, I have another anecdote after you're done.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I would look, Video Game Foundation, they're called. Very simple.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, and talk to them. The guy that started, his name is Frank something or other. He's on Blue Sky. He's probably on Twitter too. I stopped using Twitter. But we could probably tag him and start that conversation. No problem.
I'm too old to get on new platforms. I thought of it, but I'm like, I'm too old for this shit.
Blue Sky. I like Blue Sky. Blue Sky is my pitch for Blue Sky it is Twitter, first of all, but, it's just less, and I toxic, whatever. I hate that terminology. I think it's a broad term that gets overused, but Twitter is a shit show, and
I don't engage much except with the people that use my service.
Right, and exactly, and Twitter is so much more geared now towards monetization that your actual engagement on it is really limited if you're not paying. And Blue Sky is like the retro gaming community on Blue Sky to me is way more engaging and way more interesting and way less shitty.
On the line, I'm gonna check it out because Goemar told me he was using it. I'm like, oh, yeah, he can. Maybe I can.
Yeah, no, it's
he's an old part 2 now. So.
It's exactly the same as Twitter, just not shitty and not trying to take money out of your pocket is the only difference. And I mean, I guess clearly not the same user base, and certainly not as big, but I think it's better curated and less saturated with bots and bullshit.
I use that on Facebook to do like my weekly update. Like I try Wednesday, but my life is tough and sometimes I skip. Rarely I skip a week, but sometimes just like goes to Thursday. But I still do a weekly update. I have all my scheduled for my release for my soundtracks. Like,
okay. Well, there's also I'm pretty sure it's a Twitter based app that you can get that will cross post for you too. So you minimize the legwork. You can get, it's just like a plugin or something. It has to be in browser. I don't think you can do it on your phone, but
I don't use phones. I'm too old for that.
Okay. Well, there you go. You're naturally predisposed to this. Then there's a browser plugin you can get that you just check the box below the Twitter post when you're making it in your browser and it'll cross post to Blue Sky I'm sure there's ones vice versa as well. So. You don't have to.
I'll check out for that for the hosting and stuff, but also for the sprite stuff because I'm pushing 44 now.
I just turned 44 myself, literally cool. last Tuesday.
81 or
Yep, August 81. Yep.
Oh yeah, it was November.
Okay.
Pretty much around the same time, so we got the same experience
right.
game wise.
Precisely.
So when I started the sprite site, I got pretty big fast like in that because there was many at that point. I was one of the first in that too, and there was a Spriter's resource. I don't know if you know Spriter's resource, PSR, but he's like the sprite site now. But when he was starting, I helped him start up, and then he got bigger than me, and I was being petty as shit for like 2 decades. He's like, can you send your sprite? I'm like, no, they're mine. I was like being a little prick, but I'm old now, and I talked to the guy recently, and I'm like, hey, you know what, dude? Like, I know I have been belligerent, but
that's funny.
I'll go ahead because I'd like it to outlive me at this point.
Right? Yeah, I mentioned I ran those sports sites and stuff when I was young, and there was a Buffalo Bills site called 2 Bills Drive that was like the big Bills website. And yes, I had the exact same thing that was just like petty message board stuff with that guy, and ended up getting banned from the 2 Bills Drive website. And I remember making burner accounts to get back in there and shit. I'm like fucking 14 years old, 15 years old or something for that.
Petty. When I was 14, I was like in my 20s. I was being like such a baby about it. Like, no, you're my computer. I want you to get shut down. The big dog.
That's great.
So, but I sent him a bunch of my stuff recently. Yeah, I told him like, if you want to use my library, it's probably as old as me though, so I'm not sure how much of I'm getting old. So like, take it over. It's gonna do, but that's something else. Like, I'm not thinking about that, but I watch Angry Video Game Nerd. I'm looking at him like, damn. Dude's getting old. I'm like, wait, I'm getting old.
Yeah, we are getting old. Yeah,
we're getting old online. Like,
right? It is very interesting that we are the first generation that's like has a digital footprint of our life progress, and that is an interesting social experiment for sure that I also sometimes think about. But we could probably really get on a digression having that conversation. Let's stick to video games.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've mentioned already, some of the endearing responses you had, the thing when your mom passed, stuff like that. It's made you certainly aware of the appreciation the community has for the work you've done. You've already cited that one specific example, and actually people sending you money because of it, and that's beautiful. Is there a, I hate to put it as simple as like, is there a comment or whatever, but like, other than that, maybe just some others, if there are, that come to mind of note of responses or emails or outreach or appreciation showings of any kind.
I got a ton of it. Generally it's like, a lot of people are like, I know it's like a redundant thing online on a lot of channels, but when we find something on YouTube that, it kind of helps us get through hard shit in our lives, I have channels like that help me, and I got a lot of that, hey, listen to you at work or this, and I'll just have anecdotes, like people it's such an inherent part of everybody's everyday life. It's like, damn. Okay, the one that said, like, I grew up on your website and I'm 18 years old now kind of freaked me out. He was 20 something. It was like 22. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
So, like, you grew up with my website. Damn. That was another comment on that YouTube donation thing, and a lot of, like, just like little comments, like, of how much, like, everyday life people use my stuff, and that's cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
For sure, man. Yeah, no, it's...
Like, it went from, like, just some silly little hobby I'm doing because I'm bored, and it became this big fucking thing,
Yeah, no, it's so cool. And that, being born out of necessity, that's where the coolest... Yeah, it's amazing what's just having a need and really caring about something, how important that is, and how, I don't know, how much that permeates, when it is something you care about, people can see that, people latch onto it, people get endeared to it, and obviously want to, show their appreciation for it. So yeah, it is very cool when people.
Yeah, in our generation, it's like, we're the generation that didn't want to grow up. And that was the point of that. It's like, look, we don't have to want to push all this shit on the internet, so we don't have to. You want to listen to Blades of Steel? There it is. Like, everybody, like, oh god, this song from there it is on my channel. Like, that's what my goal was, and getting there.
Yeah, well, dude, you've done a lot of fucking work, man. So yeah, I think you've kind of already answered this, but I just want to ask it specifically. What is the stopping point? Where is there one? What would it be? Like, what? I mean, you've kind of made it. Maybe it's as simple as there isn't one. You've made, it's part of your process, your daily process, and it's something you enjoy. So why would you stop? But maybe then a better question, if that is the answer to that, would be: has there ever been a stopping point when early on where you were like, I only need to do whatever this amount of games or through this year of releases? Like, was there ever like a finiteness to the project, or has it always been an open-ended, ambiguous endeavor?
Well, like I said, like when I finished all the requests, at one point I wanted to take a break. I'm like, God, I've been working for like over a decade by then even. No, I didn't stick at all. The next day, like, it's my morning thing. Like,
right.
What am I going to want to do when I wake up?
Right. What am I going to do while I drink my coffee if I don't do this?
Yeah. So, like, I think that it's only two things that are going to stop it. Like, honestly, like, either legally, if I get a ton of brick by, like, a firm that says to cease and desist all activities, okay, then I would have no choice. And the other one is like, unless they do that, like, it's gonna be like I'm dead. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep going.
That's it. You gotta.
So this shit could keep going. Like, depending. My health's not super, but I'm pushing 44 November. But yeah, like, other than that, I'm not gonna stop.
Not gonna stop. Can't stop, won't stop. You gotta gap.
No,
You gotta
helps me.
right.
It
Yeah.
got me through hard times to do that too. Like I know people said that the content did, but that having to like something to wake up to look forward to
Sure,
every day.
man.
That's thing. And when they shut down the channel, the other channel in 2020, that I took it hard. Like, oh my god, it's over. It's really just it's all fucked. Like my
Yeah.
life's work is fucked. What do I do now?
Were you looking for when that happened? Did you start looking for alternatives for?
I did. I thought it looked promising, but I lost the site and I can't find it again. And but the problem is that it's impossible for me to re-upload. It's so much work to upload because you need like the title format. And, you have to format every video.
The
And that's
metadata,
on track like Mother
yeah.
3 with 300 songs almost. It's impossible. Like I have like 20 years of content to re-upload like that. Even if I wanted to, I could never do that alone. I need like a team of 12 people to
Right.
push it out every day, like for a long time to get it back up.
Yeah, for sure, man.
That's the problem. I thought of it, but I'm like, it's impractical, it's
No,
impossible.
not
Like,
realistic.
no.
Okay. I asked you your favorite game when we started. What's your favorite game soundtrack? Also Blue Marlin?
Well, it's not NES. On the NES side, it'd be hard to know. Like, Mega Man 3 does sound like one that stands up, but the Blue Marlin again, such a kick-ass soundtrack. I've been like trying, what I listen to for music in my personal life is all these guys that do like metal cover of old tunes, like Genethal and all these guys, Toxic Eternity. I'm subscribed to all of them, and I just petition them all. Can you do a cover of the Marlin? Marlin, and they're all like polite, but they're like, nah.
Interesting. I feel like if you hit enough of those, there's the Mega Man band. That's probably the franchise, I guess, is the way to describe it, that has the most cover artists or has the most coverings out there. If you hit on enough of them, man, one of them will have to again know you and fucking be willing to do that because that
I know.
again.
He uses my site. I'm like.
They still wouldn't do it? Really? Oh, man.
NES medleys. I'm like, just put it in an NES medley.
Yeah, just...
That's a Patreon thing, but the donations, and I don't have the money for it. I have some names. I'm waiting to have money, but that never happens. I really want to hear a guy cover that song in like on the guitar.
There's got to be a way to make that happen. Happen. I'll think about that. I solve problems for a living. That sounds like something that is ultra doable. I'll think about that.
It's like a fucking life dream. Like before I die, I need to hear this. Like,
which track? Email me which track off the Blue Marlins.
I will. I'll send you the link to the song too.
I got to download the game too. I got to try this fucking game out. Again,
it's a really good game for the time, especially. Like it's tiny little sprites, but then
sure. I assume it's the exact same UI as Black Bass, yes, just like deep sea fishing, or
no? It's like you're a little boat, like really tiny little boat with a hook, and then there's fish in the water, and then you hook a fish, and then it's a cutscene where you're a guy in the back of a boat in Florida, just reeling.
And this is NES, not SNES, right?
NES,
like how the NES. Fuck do I not know about this? Okay,
and you're reeling that Marlin. You watch the fin getting closer, and he comes in the distance, and you have to like let loose and then bring him back.
I'll 100 check it out. That sounds like something again at minimum a curiosity. Black Bass again. I will all the time. That there was so like the way our podcast functions, we do. It's about the magazine. So like the tagline or whatever is analyzing the formative years of console gaming in the U.S. through the prism of early video game literature. So the whole idea is we're starting with Nintendo Power and Sega Visions and the predecessors to them, the Sega newsletters and Nintendo Foot Club News. And we go through an issue of the magazine and then we talk about that probably at way too much. 3+ hour episodes. Our podcast is insane. If you don't, if you're not really into it, the idea of listening to someone talk about video games for 3 hours is probably absolutely batshit crazy. But Anyways, we go through a whole magazine, and then we pick a game at the end of that episode that was in the issue, and then do a game episode on it. So
Cool.
the way we pick the games, it has to be pulled from the magazine we just read. So that Black Bass ad was a fucking ad that we use GamePro as a third party. So we do Nintendo Power, Sega Visions, and then GamePro is supposedly a third party objective opinion on these things. And the GamePro had that Black Bass ad for years. So like doing Black Bass was a possibility for so long. And every time it would come up, I'd be like, man, I would love to sit and talk about that. But like I turn that game on and it's just like, there's not a game here. There's just not. You know?
I know, it was like a cute little song, you know, when you reel, it's like,
right.
doesn't quite match fishing. It's
right.
like film,
no. Yeah, like all the strategy is amazing. Like the different lures and shit, and just all like the systems were great ideas, but the act of playing it is just not there. And I've done a bunch of interviews with a bunch of game developers and stuff, and I interviewed I think it was the first one I ever did, Gary Kitchen, who did a bunch of NES games, him and his brother. He worked with David Crane, the guy who made Pitfall. It was one of the original Activision guys for Atari 2600.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I like Pitfall.
Yeah, Pitfall's great. Yeah, David Crane's a fucking brilliant dude. Interviewed him as well. But talking to Gary, he put it very succinctly in that, like, the core, like with video games, the core thing, like, it doesn't matter what you build around it. It doesn't matter how cool it looks. It doesn't matter how it sounds. It doesn't matter whatever. The repetitive thing that the gamer has to do with the controller has to be fun. If that, like, whatever the game mechanic is, if the act of doing it is not fun, it will not matter what you build around it, how cool it is, how it looks. It doesn't matter. Like
the gameplay, like
right?
Gameplay.
Yeah. Now, even like the gameplay is like more though. The gameplay is like how that translates on screen. Like the act, which I mean, I guess there's some level of that in it, but like. Like whatever you're doing, whatever they're having to physically do with the controller has to be fun to do. And yes, that's predicated on how the
it's
thing.
It's an abstract thing where it's like in your head, you're like, this is fun. I like doing this.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Right. Precisely. So yeah, that, the whole point being Black Bass doesn't have that.
But Blue Marlin, the music, like completely kick-ass music.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Send it to me. Send me the track. I'll think on it. I've bumped into a lot of retro game people. I bet that's doable.
I mean, as a kid, I had you would have to ask me, like, what's your favorite NES games? Like RBI Baseball 2 and Monopoly. Like,
okay.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Like at that time, that was like.
We did RBI 2. We did an episode on RBI 2. I'll send you I'll send you that episode. It was, I have the first one. I had never played any of the latter ones. The original RBI was great though. Yeah. RBI 2 it's the exact same game as RBI 1. It just had updated rosters basically.
I wasted my summer with making teams on Baseball Stars where you can make your own team.
Yeah.
Just grinding the women's team to get more money out of the attendance.
That seems to be everyone's baseball game. I didn't have that. I was a Bases Loaded 2 was probably my favorite. Baseball,
I never
NES
played that
game.
one.
I loved the camera, the pitching had so much more to it, mechanic wise. Yeah. Everyone always bitches about the fielding being impossible, but you learn to deal with that off camera stuff. So that was mine. And it had the pennant mode too. You could play like 100 and something games on Bases Loaded 2.
You need patience. The only baseball game I did that with was Ken Griffey Jr. Presents Major League Baseball.
Okay.
That's the only game I did a full season of anything. Really.
On SNES, yeah, baseball. Yeah. I don't think I moved over to the dark side, the Genesis for the 16-bit era, and there were no baseball games I got into in the 16-bit era really, so I don't have anything comparable there. Okay, man. Well, that is all the stuff I wanted to pick your brain about, I think. Is there anything with your work that I should have asked you that you would like to be known or like to talk about?
I think I pretty much covered it all. Like what it is, where it came from, why I still do it. Even though right now I just finished. I'm getting kind of out of what I call the dark ages of soundtrack riffing that I did for the last 2 years. Just like a bunch. Like sometimes it's always like a project that's completely ass the whole way. 3 of them.
Yeah, maybe that's a good question. What is the worst NES soundtrack?
Oh God, there's so many that are bad. Because a lot of I think something like Kid Rad or something.
Okay.
There's a few games I mix up in my head. Radical something or Kid Rad.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah. Sure.
just like this. It was so bad. I had to ask my friend, like, because I listened to each track to know where to cut them. I'm like, can you do it? Like, I can't. Like,
is
like,
this broken? Or is the file broken? What? This cannot be.
I'm trying to run a quick search on the word rad because I don't think there were that many games on NES that had that word in it, but totally rad. I think it might have been.
Okay, Totally Rad is a game. Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think that was the one.
We just crossed that. I think not too long ago. I think
Actually, no. At first glance, I don't think that was it, but it was just like screeching, high pitched stuff. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Amazing.
Like, also, it's hard to know what constitutes music versus sound effects a lot of times. So I'm like, does this count as music? Because I'm like, I put the pause jingle. Like, I'm not like just the music. I put everything that's supposedly music, but sometimes there's that kind of gray area. And
sure.
I don't know.
Beautiful, man. Okay, well, dude, this was really cool. I really appreciate your time, and I think that all the nerds that actually listen to us babble for 3 hours at a time about video games are going to really enjoy this conversation. So thank you for sharing all this with them.
Thanks for having me, and I hope you guys and everybody else out there keeps enjoying my stuff as long as I keep it running.
Absolutely, man. Like I said, again, that Video Game Foundation thing, dude. That I think that there has to be
I'll look into that. It's getting hard financially.
Yeah, there has to be some synergy possible there. Because
I never wanted to ask money for my work. Like that was kind of a thing. So
sure. No, I mean, like I said, there seem to be, I don't know anything about them internally, but they seem to be very well ran. They seem to have some kind of funding that allows them to do the stuff that they seem to be doing. There's no way that guy's doing it out of pocket. So I am, at minimum, again, the hosting, of course they have a website. Of course they have some way to, house this information, even if it's not, online even. I mean, you want it to be online. I can't, that's such a small thing. I'm sure they have an ability to do that too. But either way, like, just the mirroring of it and someone to house it for you, all the work, so it's not lost in the event. I mean, even as simple as
that'd be cool, because at this point I'm getting nervous. Like, well, if I die, like, I don't want all that. Just
right.
boom.
No, this would
at that stage now.
Yeah, this has to be something they would be into. So again, I could try to help out that too. If again, I know that guy on Blue Sky. I'm sure we could figure out a way to get that conversation going.
If you need any music, just request any soundtrack from the library on Facebook, Twitter. I'll just shoot you the link. Anyone.
Amazing. Fucking A, dude. Okay, well, thank you, Guy. I appreciate the conversation. Yeah, absolutely, man.